Well, I'm back for part 2 of installing the trim in our front entryway. So, last time we prepared and finished all of our trim work. Today we're getting it installed. So I'm going to grab some door trim, bring it over, and I'll take you guys along. So I'm going to try to get this lined up. I think I'm going to need something because I see some shims sticking out further than the trim. So okay. I'm just going to eyeball this one, get it tapped in. Why is everything dusty? Okay. Give me the nailer. Now I guess we'll switch over and do this doorway. Let me go get that trim. What I like to do is just set my first reveal. The reveal is how far it sits back from the face of the door jamb. And I know about what I want, so I know what I cut it at. I usually go about 1/8 inch to 3/16 setback. And then I use the door header to tell me where to put the other side. And it usually comes out pretty good. Beautiful work. It's coming together. I wish I didn't see that white, door jamb around there, but we'll worry about that later. We could always try to hide it somehow later if we need to. Okay, that's 3 doors done. Now we can start the baseboards, and the baseboards is all about connecting one door frame to the other. Okay, we're going to take one of our corner trims, stick it in there, and get a measurement. Hopefully it'll fit. It might be a little long. Is it? There it is. Perfect. And I cut my base cap. Look how those came out. Uh-oh. That one might be a little snug. I might have to trim that one up a little bit. Yep. Let me tack this in. I'll trim that one up a hair, and then we'll get it on there. And it's gonna look nice and finished. I'm back. Perfect. And while I was out there, I cut the next baseboard. I'm going to test fit it, but I also have to do something special with this one. Right down here. Okay, it fits, that's good. Well, you can see the floor bumps up. We have a transition from the wood to the tile. So I just wanted to mark this. And I'm going to be notching out the bottom right here to go up over this. So let me go get that notched. It's a little snug, but it's okay.
No, it's fine. It's good.
Oh, that is clean. Good. I think I'll put the base cap on this end and fill in near the door. All right, now I'm gonna carry on this side of the room up to that doorway. Same process. Let me get this all done and I'll be right back. And just like that, we're done with this side. A little dusty, got some sawdust on here we gotta clean off. And we'll clean all that up when we go through the hole fillet. But as you can see, it's looking nice. Got our little corner block in there. And the reason we're using a corner block isn't just for fanciness. It's because we have cracks in our corners from the boards coming together. So we're going to be putting a corner trim in the corner. And it just wouldn't look good without something to come down to. I guess now we switch around and we're going to do this little section right there. Just that little end wall, and we are done with baseboard and door trim. You know how stuff gets sticky when you don't clean it for a long time?
Yep. When you're done with that rag, I want it. It's gonna be so good looking. I love this light.
Yeah.
Glad we found it.
Yeah, it's weird. Just found it on eBay.
Yep.
Random. Putting our corner blocks in. You might be surprised that I'm not nailing them, but they don't need to be nailed because they can't go anywhere. Once the trim is in, they're locked in forever.
Forever.
Base cap. Ooh, snug. You know, I think this isn't fitting because it's too long. So we'll have to trim that.
Okay.
But we do have some little side chunks that we can throw in here. Is it upside down? We can do that. That one fit. Why is everything dusty? Okay, let's trim the base cap.
Yep.
And then we'll be done. Okay, try again. Well, a little snug still, but it fits.
Wow.
So now we have to do the crown molding, which is going to be a lot harder because, as you can see, this is a tall ceiling. So let me show you the situation I have to do though to get this installed. We have some corner blocks, you know, little corner blocks that we'll have to put up there. But also keep in mind that the ceiling is sloping downward toward this wall. So if we just put a square trim up to the ceiling, there'd be a gap above it. So what we have to do is actually bevel the back. We have to bevel the top of our trim so that it fits the ceiling just like that. So I'll measure this piece and then we gotta bevel it and get it installed. Actually, second thought, let's get our corners in, our corner trim. Okay, here's our corner trim. We decided to do the corner trim to match the walls.
There now.
Good.
Okay.
Did I show you guys what crown molding we'll be using? I don't think I showed you up close, but this is an egg and dart. This is what we've been using throughout our home. It works really well for us. This isn't a traditional crown molding. This is more of a chair rail style molding where it's flat on the back. But it works as crown just the same, and it works good for our situation. So now we have to back bevel it, like I was saying. Let's see how it cuts. Okay. So now it should be able to sit right up tight against that ceiling and look nice. It's still definitely bowing down in the middle because just want to see if I can get it so that it's, I might need a bigger shim here. Now I think it's getting better. And now, coming up from this corner up is easy. There's no beveling. It's just cutting this angle and tying it right in. How's the ceiling get dirty?
I don't know.
The reason this was sagging above the door is because we have ceiling joists that are 24 inches on center. So you get a 24-inch span of this wood. And we have some pretty thick rock wool insulation in there pushing down on it. Gravity working. Is it gravity? Just everything working against that wood and just making it sag. So we just had to push the wood up. And I just put some shims in there between the wall and the ceiling to hold it tight. And then adding this trim is also going to hold it. So it should be fine now. Shouldn't sag anymore. Hold it for a sec. We're getting to the trickiest part of the room here because it's tricky. Let me see if I can reach it with this ladder. Oh, I might be able to do this after all.
Oh yeah.
I can do it. It's not as high as I thought.
Good.
Well guys, I'll be honest with you, this trim was difficult. I had to do a couple of angles up there that took me a long time to figure out. I'm just glad it's over with. And now we're down to the last piece, going right across above the door. And I just realized that I may have a flaw in my plan. Well, the door trim that we still need to do is going to hit the crown molding. So I have to figure out which one's getting cut, what I want to do first. I'm thinking the door trim goes up first and then the crown molding will go over it. I'm going to be pocket holing these frames together. Okay, so this is the attic. Or put some kind of rubber or felt pad on them.
Are people insane?
Mm-hmm. So there is one door frame done, and now we are pocket holing it so that it's easier to install and it stays square and flat. So we're gonna put the other one together now. Just finished up my second frame. Now we have to go in and line them up on the wall because we do have some notching to do where the door latch is. So I'm gonna go in there quick, do that, measure, notch, and then I'm gonna come back when we're ready to install, and I'll bring you guys along when we get these put up. All right, that looks really good, considering. So as you guys can see, we notched out for this weird latch, and I actually had to cut the top of this frame off for the ceiling, but now I think it looks good. There it is, all done.
Okay. Now we'll do door number 2.
I think that looks good. It's a little bit heavy trim for that, but
it's totally fine.
I should have done a thinner decorative trim.
Like not as wide.
Not as wide, not as thick. Yeah, just something light. Evie wanted these painted green so they kind of blended in with the door. Just in case you're wondering why we Didn't stain those, we just thought they'd look good matching the door. It doesn't, we don't want to draw your eyes up here. These are just attics. So those blend in. I think in hindsight I would have done a smaller trim. I was just grabbing the same trim for everything. So now I'm going to piece in the crown molding on either side of the door, I guess. We got our corner trims installed. Oh guys, this has been a long process. I can't even explain. This probably took 3 days just to do trim. I have no idea why. It's just been slow. We can say this is done. I didn't hole fill yet. And I'm not going to worry about it right now because I just need a break from this project and I'm just happy that the trim is up. So eventually someday we may or may not fill all those holes. This looks good. I think the right decision doing the green in the corners so the corner trim doesn't stand out. Like I said, I wish I did smaller trim on those doors, but I like how it blends away. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but I actually put a little trim above that doorway. I didn't like how the crown molding was just butting up to it and stopping. So I have a little strip of Cabernet trim that we pieced together, that we put up there. I don't know, it just finishes it off. It makes it look like the crown molding actually does continue. But you guys can see how good this all looks. Especially when you come into the house and you see all the boardwork, all the door trim and everything on. It looks amazing in here. And I'll tell you, this has always been one of the hardest rooms to film because of the lighting situation, but there we go. It doesn't look too bad. We finally have a finished entryway. We believe that an entry, a front entry, is such an important feature in a home that's missing in a lot of homes today. We don't know why it's been abandoned, but it's so important to have a place to come in, to take off your shoes, to set down packages, to get ready to come in or out. We really enjoy this space and we're glad we kept it, and it's been just utilized to the max. We actually had a lot of stuff stored in here for a long time. Not packed to the brim, but you know, wherever we could store stuff, boxes and odds and ends, this is where it would go. Now that it's done, we can look into more, you know, decorating. So it's not just plain. I don't know what we're gonna do in here. I would love a better coat hanger, probably on this wall. I don't know if we're gonna keep the shelf, but we'd like something here. I don't think we're gonna do a bench or anything like you typically see because we're just not big bench people. We find that we actually built a bench into our last home and we never used it. We set stuff on it, but we never actually sit down. We're more of like, just stand here, pop your shoes on, get out the door. We don't sit down and fiddle around in here. So probably no bench. We're gonna keep it more open feeling. At the end here, I have a plan where I want to build a really nice built-in ladder. You're going to see that someday. I'm not worried about that. And that way we can access the loft. So imagine that wall will have a ladder on it, and I'm going to make it beautiful so that hopefully it looks good as well. And then this wall is just anything we want to do. And this wall will be for the coats. That's all we have, I guess. So thanks for watching. And until next time, take care.